Welcome to That's Good Sports Free Agency Roasting Awards Show. I am Brandon. I've had some time to digest all of the free agency moves, and I still have heartburn perna. Now, this will be the 6th free agency video I've made this year, and it's a general recap of as much of the free agency frenzy as I can stuff into one episode. Many teams improved, some did nothing, and some got worse. My job is to give them meaningless awards like the Incest Award, which goes to the Bucs because they love their own so much. And the best way for you to quickly identify if your team is on the right track is if they have 1 to 2 signings that keep players around for longer than 1 year. For example, the Jets. They inked Corey Davis and Carl Lawson to 3-year deals, tagged Marcus May, and then took a flyer on a couple players like Keelan Cole and LaMarcus Joyner. That's a nice balance. Unlike the land of 1-year deals, known as Houston, or the land of no-year deals, known as Green Bay. Free agency roasting awards. That's good sports. Please, if you want fashion advice, subscribe to this YouTube channel and football news. Today's episode is brought to you by manscaped.com/goodsports. Manscaped has been sponsoring this show for over 2 years now, which means my pubics have been on point for that long. My favorite product that Manscaped offers is the Performance Package Kit because it comes with everything you need to groom, which I now do simultaneously. The new Lawnmower 3.0, the waterproof below the beer gut trimmer with skin-safe technology to mow down those pubes is in the package, plus the Crop Preserver ball deodorant and the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer so you can clearly smell what you're hearing. And if you use my link below and code GOODSPORTS right now, you'll get a free travel bag and anti-chafing boxer briefs, which I'm wearing right now. I never chafe while shooting this show. Plus, you get 20% off and free international shipping from the company that's been supporting me longer than anyone, Manscaped. All right, the first award is the most rejected, which surprisingly goes to the Chiefs, who were able to sign 2 guards, Joe Tooney and unretired Kyle Long, but a lot of this offseason will be remembered by who they couldn't sign. Most notably, left tackle Trent Williams, who got $138 million from the 49ers. Then they went after receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, and they tried to get receiver Josh Reynolds. But apparently none of them wanted to play for the Chiefs. They also got rejected by one of their own, Tyreek Hill, who refused to restructure his contract.
You know, the Chiefs did ask me to restructure, but I mean, me and my family, we just thought that wasn't the best situation for me.
Receivers not wanting to play with Patrick Mahomes? Now that's something to keep an eye on. Juju Smith-Schuster choosing a decrepit Big Ben in a tougher division over a team that just went to back-to-back Super Bowls and is a pass-heavy offense? It's like me choosing more body hair over adding a couple of inches of length to where I really need it. My legs. My legs. Then we've got the Kenny Rogers Award for our biggest gamblers. The hugest of all gamblers, the Patriots, obviously, they signed a whole new team in the first 2 days of the free agency period, including the hopefully non-homicidal tight end duo of Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. That's their best group at the position since Gronk and Hernandez. One signing I really didn't get though was Nelson Agholor. Agholor was considered such a great signing by the Raiders last year because they bought low on him for $1 million and ended up getting the best season of his career. The lesson from that is to not sign Nelson Agholor. It's to sign the next Nelson Agholor, an undervalued receiver who they can get for cheap. Maybe that guy is Kendrick Bourne, who they signed for 3 years, $22 million. Guess what? You could have had Marvin Jones for cheaper if you just waited, but Bill Belichick has ants in his pants and a lot of cap space that's burning a hole in his hoodie. Robert Kraft tried to say that the Patriots are exploiting a market inefficiency by signing all of these guys. Basically coming off like someone who skimmed Moneyball a few days ago and now thinks they're a front office genius. Funniest signing goes to the Bills, giving Mitch Trubisky a 1-year deal. A cheap 1-year deal that was universally applauded. If the Broncos had signed Mitch Trubisky to the same exact deal, length, and money, they would have been laughed at. And honestly, I get why. Mitch Trubisky gets to learn under Josh Allen, which is a little humiliating given that Josh Allen was drafted 1 year after him. Josh can teach him valuable lessons like try to throw the ball 75 yards, or run as well as me, or play for an organization that knows what they're doing. Maybe the funniest part about this signing was Brandon Beane saying, "We don't expect him to be here long term." So he's basically saying just wait until he looks great in preseason and we trade him for a draft pick. Funniest trade? Just a few days after the Rams defensive tackle Michael Brockers called Matthew Stafford a level up over Jared Goff, the Rams hilariously traded him to Detroit, the same place they just sent Jared Goff just a month ago.
I even had to go, text Jared, off, away from the, away from the camera and stuff like that, just as a man, just like, man, bro, I did not mean it to go like that.
Then perform the customary Detroit Lions ritual of contrition, which consists of tenderly caressing and nibbling the kneecaps in an erotic manner. And our most specific award, collecting everyone from the 2011 draft, which goes to the Cardinals, even though they didn't re-sign their 2011 first-round pick corner Patrick Peterson. He went to the Vikings. They did make up for it with J.J. Watt, prior to free agency, A.J. Green, and most recently former Raiders center Rodney Hudson, who was the Chiefs' second-round pick in 2011. I'm guessing they probably tried to add Cam Newton to back up Kyler Murray, but I'm just glad they didn't get their hands on the crown jewel of the 2011 draft, Von Miller. It's almost like Steve Keim watched a redrafting video here on YouTube and was like, wait, I can do that for real. Then we've got the laziest teams. I already called the Bucs the incest team, but I'm gonna give them the laziest award as well. You already proved you can win a Super Bowl with your current roster. You know what's really impressive? Winning the Super Bowl with their backups. Why don't you try a little harder, cowards? The Bills. Unlike the Bucs, at least Buffalo made some small splashes with outside additions of Emmanuel Sanders and Trubisky Dog. Other than that, they did the unexpected and found cap room to bring back their own with Matt Milano, John Falacio, who definitely doesn't suck, and Darrell Williams. Another lazy move, the Browns adding John Johnson and one Troy Hill to their secondary, both just from the Rams. Now these are two very good under-the-radar signings, but lazy because Cleveland was just like, let's start our scouting with the Rams, and then got distracted by all of the Oral Roberts puns, and then just stopped their scouting with the Rams. With a healthy Greedy Williams, Grant Delpit, and a full season from Denzel Ward, Cleveland might also have the most improved secondary in 2021. But the winner for the laziest team should come as no surprise. It's the Green Bay Packers, who after retaining running back Aaron Jones, brought in exactly 0 free agents. Last week on my live stream with Tom Grossi, I made fun of him with the Packers' free agency status of to be determined. And today, after the Kevin King signing, I'm gonna check in with Tom. And don't even use the words cap space as an excuse. Gutenkirst. The Saints tagged Marcus Williams and re-signed Jameis Winston and an offensive lineman while having more debt than students. Sure, I guess when you're 13-3 and make the NFC Championship game 2 seasons in a row, you don't really need to rock the boat. But when you actively light your draft picks on fire and then throw them into the trash, you should probably try and make up for it with a couple free agent signings. I made an entire video about how to make Aaron Rodgers happy. And the Packers better hope he doesn't see it, because it's like they've been trying to do the opposite. And then re-sign the 2 players who cost them the championship game in Aaron Jones and Kevin King. I'll give Jones a pass because I think he's very, very good. King, also, honestly, a decent corner most of the time, but he imploded when the team needed him the most. Just because a man is named King doesn't mean you have to give him a second term, Green Bay. The billionaire who still just wears jeans and a t-shirt award goes to the Colts. Has anyone told the Colts how much cap space they still have? For something like 3 years now, Indy has been way under the cap and still refuses to go out and spend it. Hard to blame them, considering they're still a good team that prefers to draft and develop talent, but if I was a GM with that much cash, I guarantee I would have blown it all on a secret new project I like to call Indy NA, where I splice together the brain of Peyton Manning, the toughness of Andrew Luck, and the durability of Johnny Unitas to create the one perfect Colts quarterback. Maybe the mullet of Jeff George as well. Obviously, this entails stealing their DNA, which may be considered illegal, but it would result in a fantastic quarterback. Also, before you ask, Curtis Painter, no, we don't need your DNA, and stop leaving semen samples outside of Lucas Oil Stadium. Jesus, man. Something dumb I noticed. I guess this is an award. The Panthers signed Seahawks receiver David Moore to play alongside DJ Moore. Are you fucking kidding me, Carolina? This is the most redundant pairing since Tatum Bell and Mike Bell in the Broncos backfield. I'm already pissed off at all of the puns and bad headlines. Less is more is less, or is less, more. Panthers score more touchdowns, more money, more problems, and probably more child abuse.
Please, sir. I want some more.
You want some more? Well, which fucking one do you want, you little shit? Then, we've got the "We bought Cinnamon Toast Crunch but got Shrimp Tails instead" award. The Texans, who are the NFL's version of a leper colony, somehow made the most signings in free agency, and none of them will impact the team beyond 2021. Texans GM Nick Caserio signing free agents at this rate right now is the NFL's version of rearranging deck chairs on the Challenger. And for the teams who traded players to Houston, the Patriots and the Bengals with Marcus Cannon and Ryan Finley, those teams should be docked draft picks for cruel and unusual punishment. And the "we should have purchased additional insurance" award goes to the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins traded with the Titans for first-round draft pick offensive tackle Isaiah Wilson. Wilson played in 4 plays for the Titans and had a bunch of off-the-field issues. 3 days after the Dolphins made the trade, they released him. Throw in the Kyle Van Noy thing and the benching of Fitzmagic, and the Dolphins are also becoming the best at never finishing what we started. Which is why I officially predict they draft a quarterback in April. The Titans. I don't know if they got better, but at least they did stuff. They released Adoree Jackson, only to sign Janoris Jenkins. Another good corner, but older corner. They let Corey Davis go, but did sign Josh Reynolds. An underrated receivers receiver, and I don't think Tennessee's secondary is better. It's about the same. But keeping linebacker Jayon Brown was huge, and even though I'm not sold on the Bud Dupree and Danico Autry signings as great moves, they should help a very weak pass rush. Their award? A slightly overcooked cheeseburger. Add enough condiments through the draft and nobody will complain that it wasn't great, because it's still a cheeseburger. And the "fuck you for making me love you" award, well, that goes to the Washington football team, and it is not just the Ryan Fitzmagic signing. And boy, do I love me some Fitzmagic. Especially with the top 5 defense. They tagged guard Brandon Scherf, and then grabbed the only corner who could cover in Cincinnati in William Jackson. Always bet on the guy who shines on a bad unit like the Bengals defense was. But it was the Curtis Samuel signing that put me over the edge in terms of believing in this team in 2021. Plus that shitty NFC East. Every team with the word new in their name outside of the Saints did a lot in free agency. The Giants, I think, might have done the best. They brought in Kyle Rudolph, who only makes insane one-handed catches in the red zone to complement Evan Ingram, known for making insane two-handed drops. Devontae Booker is a nice depth piece at running back for when Saquon Barkley inevitably gets hurt. They locked down their key defensive piece in Leonard Williams, and when healthy, Kenny Golladay is a legit number 1 receiver. Then the Giants added corner Adoree Jackson, a really nice add to their secondary as the Titans were unwilling to pay him what he's worth. 2020 is a wash in my opinion for Jackson because he was injured prior to week 1 and missed most of the season. 3 years, $39 million for Adoree is about right, and knowing how badly Packers fans wanted him should clue you into how solid of a player he is. And he's joining a Giants defense I think more people will be talking about this season. I thought they overpaid for James Bradbury last year. I was wrong, and I really like the pairing of Jackson and Bradbury. So the Giants and the Broncos were 2 teams that took their time with free agency, and I think it paid off. I say that though, knowing it won't really matter unless Daniel Jones and Drew Lock start playing a lot better. And it's a shame Aaron Rodgers doesn't play for one of those 2 teams who actually made a good effort to get better. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports Free Agency Roast Awards. I'll be back later this week with the AFC West Roast Recap. It's been a long time coming. I'm going to get to it.